welcome back to our channel. I'm Safra Febriana.
I'm Regina Julia Rizka.
We are from University of Muria Kudus.
And we're from English Education Department.
So, now we will explain about superstition
And the popular culture
slang word
and the perception of beauty and cross culture. And then the first, Safira explained about the superstition and stay tuned.
Now I will explain about superstition. The etymology of superstition is something that is not real. The definition about superstition is the term derived from the word tahayalat, which means fantasy. Superstition, just a mere human fantasy story, which is something that is not real or imaginary, which the story are unclear as to their origin. Example of superstition: friend must have heard that the number 13 is an unlucky number. This figure is considered acceptable, causing misfortune and havoc for people who use it. Every disaster or bad event are always associated with number 13. For example, the accident happened on the 13th. The victim in the incident, there was 13 people. The incident happened on the 13th floor, and so forth. Even so afraid of the number 13, there are some buildings that don't have floor 13 so far. If you take the elevator, we will only meet the first floor to the 12th floor, and then jump to the 14th. It could be because the building owner really believed in the bad lucky number of 13, or they may avoid the fear of people who will visit and use the building because it still is believed in the bad lucky number of 13. The example of superstition in Indonesian is: the first, don't sit in front of the floor, later the match away. The second is an ugly square house for a house. 4. Don't sit on the pillow, later boiled. And then the fall of the lizard will be unlucky. Sweeping is not clear, later he has been bearded. And the last is cutting noodle mean cutting egg.
Now I want to explain you about the popular culture. Popular culture is at the beginning of its development in Europe. Popular culture was more interpreted as a culture that is attached to the life of the people in the lower class, social class, which is a differentiator from the culture of a certain high elite. In addition, popular culture is often identical with the term mass culture, which was created and enjoyed in mass. Pop culture is contemporary, where this culture can change at any time and appear uniquely in different places and times, keep up with the times, and the existences is developing well in society. Popular culture. Etymologically, popular culture is derived from Spanish and Portuguese has a meaning that is an element of the culture that comes from the people. Based on the perspective of Latin language and culture, popular culture is more directed at the extension of talks about the development of the culture that the creativity of most people in society. Definition. Definition of the popular culture is series of entertainment device of product that is traded for material purpose in the purpose of seeking profit. Although sometimes, on the other hand, popular culture is created from the other purpose, as well as interest in creating a type of the political culture. This gives the fact the popular culture is related to many aspects and such as consumption, fashion, politics, and so on. Characteristic of the popular culture. Popular culture in general can be characterized as follow. First, become a trend. One of the characteristics of the popular culture is where a culture becomes a trend in the people live and trends to follow favored by most the people in general. And then the second, the uniformity of forms. The uniformity of forms show the characteristic of a human creation which has become a trend among the general public, which in turn is followed and imitation process trends to occur through the plagiarism. The work can become a pioneer and promoter for other works and reality the same characteristic. 3. Adaptability. Adaptability characteristic show that perspective on popular culture will be easy to enjoy and general public can adapt to the condition what occur, which leads to trends that develop in society. 4. Durability. And popular culture will be seen based on the durability, which show a perspective of the movement of time, where the process of the popular culture can define themselves with inherent characteristic and uniqueness, so that there will be a resilience of the culture to continue to develop in society even though it has been a long time. That 5. Last, the characteristic is profitability. Based on the economic perspective, popular culture has the potential to generate substantial material benefits for industry that are culled from sustainability. The popular culture process. Talking about the popular culture is certainly is a parable from the role of the media. The meaning of social media as a carrier of the pop culture that with their community, the media has produced for various types of popular culture products, and then they are influenced by foreign culture, and here results have been disseminated through global networks so that people constantly that are unsocially absorbed in the developing culture. An example of the popular culture is shopping. Second is Korean fever or Korean wave. Third is Korean pop or K-pop fans. That all is example from popular culture.
Okay, now I will explain about slang word. It's very informal language of specific word used by a particular group of people. You will usually hear slang word spoken more often than you will see it put in writing. Talk often contain many controversial slang words. Talk slang sometimes get a bad rap for being inappropriate or incorrect. It's also highly creative and shows that the English language is constantly evolving over time. Let's dive into 30 examples of slang words from 1920 to today. Example of outdated slang. Some slang words that were once popular are no longer used. For example, this term was commonly used in the 1920s to mean that something was exciting, new, or excellent. Thus, it does make much sense. It don't use vivid imagery that new pornography is the cat's pajamas. This term describes a shy person. It was used for decades in the 20th century to describe a person, typically a girl, who preferred to stand alone the world instead of participating in a dance. You will have more fun at the dance if you aren't such a wallflower. Don't have a go. This term is used to try to calm someone down. It was popularized by the TV show The Simpsons in 1980 and 90, and thought you might still hear Bart say it in "Don't have a go, Mom. I didn't eat all the ice cream." Example of evolving slang. Some slang words change their meaning over time, usually across generations. They skip the word in usage, but can lead to some miscommunication between older and younger speakers. For example, to your grandparents. Busted probably means that something was broken. To your parent, it means getting caught doing something wrong. The last used as an adjective to mean ugly. No, like, no, I wanna go out with your little sister. He's busted. Right, originally a verb for the act of being a passenger in the fish side. This word also evolves in a noun to describe a car. Most recently, my ride can mean sneakers, like I got new ride to match my favorite. Example of outdated slang. Some slang words that were once popular are no longer used. For example, this term was commonly used in the 1920s to mean that something was exciting, new, or excellent. Though it doesn't make much sense. It does use vivid imagery like that new pornography is the cat pajamas. Example of evolving slang. Some slang words change their meaning over time, usually across generations. They skip the word in usage but can lead to some miscommunication between older and younger speakers. For example, to your grandparents. Busted probably mean that something was broken. To your parent, it means getting caught doing something wrong. The last used as an adjective to mean ugly. Like, no, I wanna go out with your little sister. She's busted. Example of portmanteau slang. Some slang terms are created by combining two words into one that has a new meaning. A new word created by combining portion of the exciting word is called and they are very popular as a way to give a new name to a celebrity couple. For example, the actor Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were known as Brangelina. Then they were married. Other example of portmanteaus: frenemy. This combination of our friends and enemy describe a person who is a little bit of both. Perhaps a friend with whom one experiences regular conflict. Like, you'd be a lot happier if you stop hanging out with your frenemy. Example of modern slang. Slang is changing all the time, but here's a list of modern slang terms. P. A term of endearment meaning before anyone else. Used between romantic partner that can also be used between close friends. P. You are the best. Basic. A, a, a put down describing someone's or something that very common of a conformist. Those women are so basic. There's only drinking pumpkin spice letters because everyone else is. And then Free Felicia, a fast way to tell someone to go away. This term comes from the 1995 movie Friday. Like, I don't know, you are just copying my style by Felicia. The next is coin. Another way to refer to money. Like, she's about to earn some major coin. The next is dying. Some things that were so funny. You died loud feeling. Oh my god, this stand up is hilarious. I'm dying. Why do people use slang? Because slang terms are often only understood by people in a certain group. Using slang is, above all, a way to show that you belong. You show that you're only the crowd by using terms that others don't understand. And you can connect with like-minded people who understand just what you mean by using the latest slang term. For this reason, slang is often a mark of being cool, or at least it to know about some things. People who are in with a group know the slang, and people who aren't don't. Slang is therefore a way to use language to separate yourself from others. The best example of this is the way each generation of teens uses new slang to separate themselves from their tragically uncool parents.
The perception of beauty across culture. When we were kids, Eva used to drag its heavy chair from the dining room with much effort. To place it in front of the sink, the mirror above the sink was too high for me to reach, and so I climbed into the chair, switched on the light, and stared at myself in the mirror first hour, and I thought I was the most beautiful the whole universe, and that first was nothing, and then no more magnificent that I was. But as I grew up, that sense of myself started with puberty. I grew ugly at face, a handful of the peoples, and short and fat. If I went to installer, if only I were in thinner, if only my face were not so known, if I only were self-favor, and if only in Singapore, the small flat woman with the tiniest features the more nature and fair the complications were considered. Beauty in the society, whereas when the big African woman with the voluptuous features and the features were considered beautiful. In fact, the factor at the woman the most beautiful she is the hair fact contributes to her curve. No matter what the shape of she coming in American, everybody love what is the complication and short American women were the very beautiful in Venezuela. In fact, as young as the 15, 16, or 17 years of the age, go under the knife, get silicone implants and cosmetic surgery to correct features. His parents supposed to give her big gifts, and the most time that is the boob job. Beauty does not lie in the eye of the beholder. It is lie in you. You have to place it there to see it reflected by the beholder. Truth is beauty. Beauty is truth. It is the real. You that everyone that falls in love with anyone. People come in all shapes and secret and variety, and accepting our uniqueness, we try to mold ourselves to fit in. So be approved by others when we were born to stand out. You see, culture is always based on certain belief system held true by a large section of humanity. Every culture is look into belief which might or might not be true outside of that culture.